Hi, and welcome to Plant-Based Living Across the Pond. And let me introduce the amazing Gareth R. Davies. Gareth helps people to reduce or eliminate their high blood pressure through his no meds method. You can find out more and schedule time on his Facebook, Gareth R. Davies page.
Thank you, Jean. And let me do the same for you, because you are the founder of Pregnancy Advantage as well, which is helping women get their bodies pregnant ready. You can check Jean's website out. It's called simplyplantbased.net, and lots of resources, recipes, programs, advice, help, lots of free stuff there. So go on to simplyplantbased.net.
And that, I have to tell you, is the mothership. So all my programs, you can find them there. So, and what's happening, events and stuff like that. So
you might notice that I haven't got the normal shirt on today.
Yeah, what's up with that? We're into stripes. What's going on there?
This is Forest Green Rovers Football Club in the League Two of the Football League in the UK, and the world's first vegan football club. And the last time I went there, we had food. I took on a bet actually to a first football game in the UK. Vegan food served. Nice to see the vegan advertisers up around the ground. Only vegan advertisers, companies. And the chairman, Dale Vince, has really decided that his background is an eco warrior, and he was one of the original guys demonstrating about environment to the government many years ago. Mm-hmm. And he set a company up called Ecotricity, and that company is huge now. And so one of the things he did is he bought a football club.
Okay.
And this shirt, it's called the zebra shirt, but it's actually from last season. I got this, and it's actually made mainly of bamboo and recycled plastic.
Nice.
Yeah. So Forest Green Rovers, check them out. I think it's really a great club. They've just got permission to build a stadium 100% made of wood.
Nice.
So that's probably 3 or 4 years away before that comes to fruition. But they've got planning permission now. So an incredible football club. So well worth supporting. Go check them out.
All right.
Green Rovers. Yeah.
Green Rovers. Got it. All right.
Forest Green Rovers.
Oh, pardon me. Forest
Green
Rovers. Got to get it right.
Yeah, you got to get it right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got an issue, Jean. I wonder if you can help me with.
Okay.
Yeah? I never got any of my children vaccinated back in the day. Okay. And because I was interested in health and nutrition around that time, and I just thought, well, hang on, there's quite a lot of reports of these vaccinations causing issues, and I'm not convinced my kids are going to need it, so they never got vaccinated. I did way back, back in the day, but now I'm at a situation where I won't be able to travel and see my family unless I have the vaccinations.
All right. So let's talk about some diseases. And I was just thinking about, and I hear a lot of more people having issues with autoimmune diseases. Mm-hmm. Literally, an autoimmune disease is a condition in which your immune system, your own body, is attacking yourself. And it, your immune system normally guards against things like germs, bacteria, viruses, things like that. We sense these as being foreign invaders, and it sends out an army to fight these guys. You've got this military campaign going on in your body, and that's what's happening. But normally the immune system can tell the difference between foreign cells and, hey, your own men, but in an autoimmune disease, your body mistakes part of it, like either your joints or your skin, as foreign. And it releases proteins called autoantibodies that attack these healthy cells. And so, there's some autoimmune diseases that target only one organ, like type 1 diabetes damages the pancreas. It only focuses on the pancreas. But other systematic or systemic diseases like lupus, they affect the whole body. Mm-hmm. So I've been thinking about that a lot, and I've connected with Dr. Christina Miller, who's with Plant-Based Telehealth, and she's just amazing. I mean, she had lupus herself,
Yeah.
She's an emergency room doctor, and she's certified, I think, in American College of Lifestyle Medicine over here. So, she was practicing medicine, then all of a sudden her body started attacking itself, and she knows why now. It was, what she was eating, not getting enough exercise as you're going through med school. I mean, like the stress, all those things kind of had a little factor involved in that. But she was able to heal herself from lupus and has it completely under control. So she and I are going to be starting a program called the Autoimmune Advantage. So that people that do have autoimmune diseases, you need to have, a lot of it has to do with your gut biome and healing that first. Then once you heal your gut biome, then you can go on to heal the rest of your body. So, yeah.
And it's whatever disease we're talking about. I know we must sound boring saying this, but it's the same answer. It's the food, it's our lifestyle, that's what the problem is. Yeah.
Well, specifically though for autoimmune people, and I got into an argument with this one person who had Hashimoto's, which is, again, it's an autoimmune disease. And she's like, oh, well, you need to understand about what this is and how this happens. And, and she was just getting into this argument. And I said, well, go plant-based. And she's like, I went plant-based and I got sick as a result of it. And I'm like, okay, you need to go plant-based with somebody who understands what's happening, and I said, connect with Dr. Miller. Connect with her. She can really guide you through this whole process. And eventually we're going to have this program set up because you really do need a support system. And it just, her comments were just so, she's just, the comments this woman made back and forth with me. And I'm like, she's like, oh, well, you need to research this better. And I'm like, I already have been there, done that. The bottom line is you do have to, there's a little bit different protocol when you're starting with autoimmune disease. You can't just go, okay, I'm going to eat plants, because your body is so compromised at this point. Yeah. So you've got to make some different changes to start. And then eventually the goal is to get you eating whole food plant-based, in cooking like you and I cook now. So, but in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit different because it's going to be a different protocol because you got to heal first your body before you can start to finish healing the rest of your body. You've got to heal your gut. So that's step one. So interesting though. Yeah, we know what the answer is. We know what the answer is.
Yeah.
So
I recently had a blood check as well, a blood test.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was about 2 years since I had the last one. And I thought, oh gosh, I should have had one every year. But anyway, so I've been living in northern Norway now for 6 years.
No, you live at the edge of the earth. Let's just put it clear. I mean, the next step is off the planet.
The reason I was saying that is because we have around 3 months of total darkness here. And this year, of course, I've not been able to travel back to the UK or somewhere sunny or Portugal or Spain or wherever. And so I've been in this darkness for this time. And when we were talking recently, we were both talking to Dr. Frank Sabatino recently, and he said quite often there's a drop in D vitamin in people after 5 or 6 years. And guess what? My health is fine, apart from a low level of D vitamin and a low level of B12. And because I don't take any supplements, or I didn't take any supplements up until I got the results of this blood test about a month ago. So, I found I know a great brand of organic plant-based supplements and just started changing, including a smoothie in the diet every morning. So that's been really nice. And also a couple of times a day getting some B and B12 and D vitamins in my body extra as supplements. Well, so it'll be interesting to see when I go back and have it done if it's made a difference. Yeah.
Well, interesting, when for me, I'm not a person that hangs out in the sun, number one, even in the summertime, I like to be outdoors, but I usually, wear a big hat and, I'm very fair skinned, so I burn like ridiculous, so, but even, I've been indoors for the most part for this winter. So, Yeah, my vitamin D was low. But initially, because my medical doctor that I see is Dr. David Danaev, and he does a lot of the studies with the smoothie and whatnot. And I don't know, did I share with you the results of his study?
Don't remember, sorry.
Okay, well, the last study that he did, he had two groups, but one group in particular was just people eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet.
Yeah.
And for 7 days, they measured their blood work before, and then they started them, and all they had them do, you eat whatever you're normally eating, whatever the SAD diet, and then they added in the smoothie.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 days, we want you to do this smoothie. It's 32 ounces. Primarily it's greens, a banana, blueberries, flaxseed, that kind of thing. It was incredible. In 7 days, they saw a reduction in inflammation in the body of 40%.
Wow.
With that group. They also had another group that was already whole food plant-based, and they added the smoothie in as well. And they didn't see as big a reduction in inflammation because they were already plant-based, and had changed a lot of their health destiny anyway. But they did see changes. And they measured that with the C-reactive protein that measures the inflammation in your body, but they also measured the nutrient levels going up. So you can find that video, that interview. There's 2 studies with Dr. Danaev on my YouTube channel, Jeanne Schumacher, Simply Plant-Based. And he's phenomenal. But anyway, circling back to you, he recommended to take a couple of doses of mega doses of vitamin D, like 40, 50,000 international units. And then on a daily basis, 2,000 international units a day. And to help it to get into your system a little bit better, when you are taking your vitamin D, make sure you do it at the same time that you eat some nuts. And you don't need many, like 1 or 2 nuts, chew those down, take your vitamin D at the same time, because the vitamin D is fat soluble. The nuts have high amounts of fat, and that will help that get into your body.
Okay.
So
good. Well, thanks for that. The type of smoothies we had been, full of bananas, avocado, and flaxseed, greens as well. So
talking about 8 ounces of greens. And when I say 8 ounces, I don't mean like you measuring a cup. I'm talking about 8 ounces by weight, which is like a lot of greens.
Yeah, sure.
That's a lot of, fresh greens, a lot. So you're getting a lot of hyper nutrition, this way. So what movies? Have you seen anything new?
Well, I'm halfway through Seaspiracy.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Good one.
And it is shocking how anyone can watch that and then continue to support the fishing industry by eating fish. I don't know. I mean, I haven't eaten fish for 25, 30 years. But for different reasons. I didn't eat it because I didn't think it was healthy. And I still believe that. But added to that, it's killing our oceans.
Yeah.
Our oceans are responsible for the atmosphere here. Way more carbon dioxide than the forests, for instance, get buried down in the species which eat smaller fish, sink lower, get right down to the base of the ocean, and that's where this carbon dioxide is stored. And if that's not happening, then it's coming out of the sea into the atmosphere. So a much bigger influence on global warming than anything that's happening outside the water. And it's all being driven by the need to eat fish, or the market, and it's money. I mean, what some of these trail trawlers, excuse me, I got something in my throat there. What some of these trawlers are doing are destroying the bottom of the sea, as well as massive amounts of the fish that they're fishing, but they can't decide which fish get caught, so they're catching thousands of sharks, thousands of whales, thousands of dolphins, for instance. And these species, we're going to be lost to, many of them are going to be lost to us because the shipping industry, the fishing industry is a science now. It's not like put your pole in and wind one back on the end of a pole. It's watch the movie Seaspiracy. It's incredible.
I know. I'm almost afraid to, because I hate seeing animals just being and when you start to see animals like whales and dolphins and, the tuna and stuff like that are being caught unmercifully and just, and they're hacked to death. I mean, and that they do have a limited, but they still do have a sensories, and so just to see them, and I'll never forget watching this one fish, people that come back in from fishing, and these poor fish were still alive and trying to breathe out in the air, and they can't breathe, they're like, and I'm just like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. I can't watch another animal.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time. It hurts my heart.
The worst thing is, Jean, worse than all of that, is that when these fish are caught, I forget the term they use for catching fish that they don't actually want, or creatures that they're not fishing for, is they don't want to carry them back, so they throw them over the side. So there is way more dolphins and whales and sharks caught and
killed.
Well, they're not killing them. They are, but they're out of the water so long. In effect, yes. But they dump them over the side and they just sink down to the bottom of the ocean. There are probably 100 times more of those which are killed at sea and then just drop back into the ocean than we see being reported numbers as being caught. So it's well worth watching. And what a brave guy, the reporter who made this movie, because he just decided, he saw something on a whim about the Japanese whaling industry being allowed back in, and he just took himself and his girlfriend up next day, got a flight to Japan, stopped everything he was doing and started his documentary. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's those things right up there with Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, same thing. It's the whole thing where they're talking about this, first of all, the animals, how they're mistreated, but then the cover-ups, things like that. Wow. So we need to get this out there because people need to understand what they're seeing and how that animal got there on your plate.
So definitely put a link to that movie on this show so people can go and see it.
Yes, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So label reading. So this is organic matzo. I love this because there's 2 ingredients. That's it. 2 ingredients. It's USDA. I mean, there's different varieties that you can find, but I just happened to find this one in my grocery store. But it's USDA certified organic. So love that. All right. So in this, let's look at the nutrition label here. All right. First of all, no sodium, which is a win for me. Oh my gosh. And it's almost fat-free, almost. Yeah. So that is another huge win, at least for me, and then the question, there's only 2 ingredients. There's organic wheat flour and water. That's it.
So that is the first time I've ever heard of that term before, but I was going to ask you before you told me.
What is it?
What is a matzo?
Matzo is it's like a cracker.
Okay.
And so it is what's used at Passover in the, for the Jewish faith. They have a whole, Seder dinner that they eat, this with. But okay. I just like it a lot myself because it's sodium free. Mm-hmm. And the majority of the matzah that I find in the grocery stores are sodium free. So it's virtually impossible for me to find something that is sodium free. So this is just like, wow. But on the other hand, this is something that I really like a lot. So I would tend to overeat this. We have 110 calories, and I'm just taking that just from the label, 110 calories. And one matzah, one cracker is 28 grams. So they're measuring it in grams. Okay. On this side of the pond is measured in calories per pound.
Yeah.
So, we would have to do a different conversion to get it to kilos, but here's on this side of the pond. So 110 calories in 28 grams, that's one serving for one, and it's a big, good sized cracker. I mean, it's, the size of the box basically of that. And so there's 454 grams in 1 pound. So that comes out to be almost 1,800 calories a pound. That is, ice cream is like 1,200 calories a pound.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is. So this is like really, and here's the calorie density scale.
So what are the two ingredients, Jean?
It's wheat, flour, and water.
And it's so calorie dense.
Because they grind it up. It's flour. Flours are always going to be calorie dense. Okay. Yeah. Anything that is very processed like this in grinding up the flour. And when you increase the surface area, you increase the ability to break it down into your system that quickly. So it hits your body like a tsunami. So, so that's just the calories in terms of calorie per pound. So if you're trying to lose weight, you want to stay under 700 calories a pound, more or less. So to increase weight loss, so you can eat freely from, like fruits and vegetables, basically, that's way low on the calorie density scale. But if you're starting to eat things, more on the starchier side or the, the proteins, things like that, they're going to be a little bit higher caloric density. And that's okay, because if you're eating, the balance of your food is from the lower calories per pound, then that's fine. But, you have maybe one dish or something like that, so it's a little bit higher caloric density, great. But, I could find myself eating several of these crackers, because I could, especially if you put like peanut butter on it. Oh, now you're talking peanut butter and like some jelly or something.
Yeah, don't be doing that calculation.
No. It is something that is extremely high caloric density food. So it's not something, people think, oh, it's a cracker. How bad could it be? Yeah, it's pretty bad, in terms of if you're trying to lose weight, obviously for somebody like you who's out skiing like several hours every day and is extremely active. Okay, fine. You can afford calorically to have some of these crackers and maybe some peanut butter on it. But yeah, no, me, I'm still trying to lose weight. So that is not a good thing to have in this house. I'll just say that right now.
Well, I have just had a very big cup. This is a huge cup, actually, of lentil soup, lentil, potato, chickpea, and a few spices, onions, some garlic in there, cook with it. And it was so easy to make and so lovely. My wife was very happy when she came home and I made that for the day. Yeah.
I bet, because if I came home and my husband had something on the stove, I'd pass out, first of all, because he needs a recipe to boil water. Okay. So, I'm sure as a woman coming home and your husband has a pot of soup on the stove, yeah, she'd be happy, and that sounds amazing.
She did influence my decision to take over the kitchen when she said that she used to be able to make toast, but she lost the recipe.
Right. Yeah, that's my husband. Your wife, my husband. Yeah, don't put them in the kitchen together. It's just not going to be a good thing. We will starve. Yeah. That's for sure.
Okay, Jean, I got water here, but what's that you're drinking? You don't usually drink.
Hey, I had a little bit, I woke up with, I think I slept wrong, and I had my mouth open sleeping, and my throat, I woke up, it was a little bit dry and scratchy. So I am drinking my comfort drink today. And this is a canteen that has 20 ounces. And what's nice is it's double walled insulated stainless steel, but inside I'm sipping on 2 tablespoons of applesauce, unsweetened applesauce, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. That's the Bragg's with the mother. So it's unprocessed, USDA certified organic. And then like about a half a tablespoon of raw organic honey. And raw honey is solid. It's not like a liquid. So, I put that, and that's with 20 ounces of hot water. And I'll sip on that. And honest to goodness, if I have any kind of cold, sniffles, sinus stuff, throat stuff, I drink that. It kills whatever it is. I don't know what, but it kills it. So that's what I call simply comfort drink. Okay. So that is something really, really good to do. Right now, I'm getting ready to move. We're going up to Cape Cod. So I'm cleaning out my cupboards and going through trying to use up all the stuff, because I have this whole storage downstairs. It's kind of like my own little grocery store. And so like I have to use up all this stuff. So I'm like making up food recipes. I'll take some of this and I'll add some of this and I'll put some of this and I'll make this together and I'll throw that, and
why not?
So I'm making a lot of those dishes lately. So, but I don't want to move it. It's like, why? It's just something else to move. It's amazing how much crap you accumulate. So
yeah, you can see it's so easy to end up with, because if you don't remember, I mean, we're pretty bad like that. Have we got any of this? Oh, I'm not sure. Let's get another one, and we come back and we got
exactly.
like 4 bags of Indian curry, because
I know. I do the same thing. It's like I come home with more maple syrup or something like that, and I have 5 bottles downstairs because I can't remember. It's like I don't take inventory or anything. Yeah. I should have a shopping list, like
top of the list. Yes, we tell people to do that, don't we? We don't do it ourselves.
But I got to start doing it myself. So anyway, today I wanted to share this article that I found. This was in the New York Times book review. Mm-hmm. And it's called Chemical Reaction, the Plastic and Pesticides Around Us May Be Putting the Future of Our Species at Risk. And it's a book about this. It's a review about this book called Countdown. And I just bought this. I haven't read it yet. Oh, this is really, really disturbing, especially because, we started the pregnancy advantage. And in the beginning, our focus in the pregnancy advantage was to get the woman's body pregnant ready. But now we've switched and we're focusing on the couple. Okay. Because the guy he's got to get his part in there too, Yeah. And so let me just I'm pulling out a little bit from this. Countdown chronicles the rising human infertility and warns of dire consequences for our species if this trend doesn't slow. The reason may be growing exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals that are found in everything from plastics, flame retardants, electronics, food packaging, pesticides, to personal care products and cosmetics. And the substances interfere. So the endocrine disruptors these are substances that are going to interfere with normal hormonal functions, including testosterone and estrogen. And even in small doses, they pose particular danger to unborn babies and young children whose bodies are growing rapidly. These hormone warping chemicals, which can even enter the placenta, have the ability to alter the anatomical development of girls and boys, change brain function, impair the immune system. Mm-hmm. From 1973 to 2011, the total sperm count of men in the Western countries dropped by 59%. Okay. The quality also nosedived with more odd-shaped sperm, okay, and fewer stronger swimmers capable of fertilizing the egg. So perhaps the most important, the DNA they carried was also damaged. So the study Swan cites in Countdown found that just over a quarter of men experiencing erectile dysfunction were under 40. That may be in part because of testosterone levels have been dropping at 1% per year since 1982. Mm-hmm. The outlook for women isn't good either. The miscarriage rate has risen by 1% per year over the last 2 decades. So I just wanted to share this article that I found. It's a book review about this book called Countdown. So
sounds really interesting. And another shocker. It's all this stuff is coming home to roost. There's always for every action there's a equal or opposite reaction.
Right.
And, we can't keep doing this stuff and expect things to be okay for our planet and ourselves.
It's true. And that's one of the things in the pregnancy advantage that Deborah and I focus on. We're the only program, not only do we focus on food and drink, it's what I call the trifecta. You have to change what goes in. So that's food and drink. You have to change what goes on. So that's the personal care products, and the environmental toxins we're being exposed to, but then you have to exercise, that's the basic foundation. I mean, there's other aspects to health, but those are the foundation. You have to have that. You have to have that. And so, I've started with a company called Pure Haven Essentials. So if anybody's looking for toxic-free products on this side of the pond, please connect with me. And I just got to share one quick story with you with my husband. He has been battling dandruff since before we got.
I'm glad you're talking about that, Jeanne, because you did mention erectile dysfunction earlier as well. And I don't think we should go into that in this program, but there you go.
Right. No, I wasn't going to talk about that, but that's changed too. We don't have that problem anymore. my husband's dandruff, we've been dealing with this problem since before we got married. He's gone to dermatologists. I mean, all over the place. He's gone to those. And he comes home with these really toxic shampoos. And I'm like, you're not using that. And he's like, but this is what the doctor recommended. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not using that. This is toxic. This is some seriously toxic stuff. And for some, because he's reversed multiple sclerosis. And I'm like, no, you are not putting this back on your body I spent a lot of time healing this body. We are not putting these toxic chemicals on this. And every once in a while he'll sneak in like Selsun Blue or Head and Shoulders or something, and they don't work. It does nothing. It looks like he wears a sweatshirt, and it looks like somebody has sprinkled confectionery sugar on his shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter how many times, he brushes it. It's continual. So what we did, Pure Haven came out with a new series of scalp and hair, and it's called Super Greens. And it's like, kale and spinach, and they've ground it up, and they've turned it into a shampoo and conditioner and scalp treatment. Oh my God. So the first thing, because he's got like 12 hairs that he, comes over. Mm-hmm. And so what we did is we took the sugar scrub and scrubbed his head and got rid of the top layer of dead skin. Okay. Then he used the Super Greens shampoo. He used the conditioner, and then they have a scalp treatment. So now, because he used to scratch his head so hard, it would bleed. And it was that itchy, So now in terms of itchiness, he just takes a little bit of the scalp treatment, puts a little bit on his finger, and then he'll just rub that in. It's itching gone. So interesting on that note, but his dandruff went in one treatment. His dandruff is gone. Dandruff is gone. In 10 years, over 10 years we've been married. I've never seen it like this. Never.
Good.
So,
that's great news.
I know. I just love, and again, when you find products that work, you just want to scream from the rooftops, about them. And like us, we want to talk about, eating whole food, plant-based. Hello. It's changed our health. Hello. It's good. It's good. So anyway, well, Gareth, it's always been a pleasure, chatting with you. So we'll see you on the next series.
It goes by so quick, Jean. It's so great as well to chat with you, to find out. And, there is still a difference, isn't there, across the pond. And it's really interesting to see how things will unfold from now on.
I know. It is. And that's why I like doing this, because I like to hear what's going on other parts of the world. So
I'm really glad that lots of people in America got to hear about Forest Green Rovers, the first vegan football club. Yeah.
There you go. I love it. Do you have a hat that goes with that shirt or whatever? No, you don't. Yeah. Do you?
I've worn it skiing, so it's a bit.
I tease you about that, but no, you do. Oh my God.
And my shirt and my scarf.
No, you have the scarf too.
Forest Green Rovers official shirt, like official scarf. So yeah, I would. Pretty good to have these in Norway, I can tell you.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
It's just my eyes, isn't it?
Are those made the same way as the shirt is?
No. The shirt was a new thing, which was last year, and this year they've come up with another shirt. They've gone a step further. I'll have to find out what they've done with that, and maybe get them to post me another shirt. All right, very good. All right. It's warm, that is, isn't it? Yeah. I could imagine being made for warm or cold climates. So. Anyway, always good to connect with you. Yep. All right, Jean. Yep. Love you. Bye now.